Hi dear students, welcome to Department of Chemistry, KTHM College, Nasik. So student, in our previous lectures, we discussed the atmosphere and air pollution. We studied the various component which causes the air pollution, and even we studied the effect of air pollution on a living organism, more especially on human beings and the plants. Now today we are going to start our discussion about the next chapter, which includes the hydrosphere and water pollution. Hydrosphere is one of the important segment of environment. The hydrosphere consists of all types of water resources present on the earth's surface. We people are well aware about the importance of water in the life of a living organism. The water plays a very vital role in the life of a living organism. It is a most important and a major constituent of a life cycle of every living organism. In another word, you can say that the life of living organism is impossible without water, and therefore it is a major component, a major constituent of the life cycle of a living organism. Actually, the water which is present on the earth's surface is responsible for the evolution as well as the well-sustainable life of a living organism. So, not only water is important, but the various organisms present in the water bodies, we call it as an aquatic organisms. The aquatic organisms are also important one for the transformation of a chemical species in the environment. They plays a role of a medium for the transformation of various chemical species from one cycle to another life cycle, and therefore the aquatic organisms are also important in order to balance the various chemical phenomena taking place in the environment. Actually, the quality and quantity of surface water is a very important issue nowadays, because there is a huge contamination of water bodies present on the earth's surface due to many more reasons. The first major reason behind the contamination of water, means useful water we call it as, is the population. Due to increased population, the water pollution increases. Second thing is a various type of natural and man-made activities also pollute the water. For example, industrialization. The sewage of industries are drained into the common water bodies, and due to that, water body becomes a more and more contaminated day by day. Even due to the urbanization, due to the increased population, the various types of sewages from the cities are also drained off into the common water bodies. Next one is agricultural development. Due to the agricultural development, more especially I am talking about the agrochemical industries. The developed technology in agrochemical industries produces a huge amount of wastage in the form of a liquid, and these wastage of various pesticide, insecticide, herbicides are again drained off into the common water bodies. No doubt every time The effluents of industries and sewage from the household are not drained off directly into the common water bodies, but indirectly, at the end, it will goes to the common water bodies. For example, if the pesticide, insecticides and herbicides are sprayed on the earth, means in the farm, obviously, due to the circulation of water, we call it as hydrological cycle. Obviously, by leaching process, along with the rainwater, that component goes to the common water bodies. And overall, at the end, the common water bodies gets contaminated. And due to all these reasons, the purity and means the quality and quantity of surface water is a very major and very important problem nowadays. And therefore, we should think about their purification, we should think about their quality and about their quantities. So what are the water resources? First of all, we will talk about the water resources. Water resources. All water bodies are the water resources. For example, ocean, then rivers, lakes, streams, polar ice, snows, groundwater are the major resources of water. The water from all the water resources are kept in circulation by the hydrological cycle. The water from all the resources are kept in circulation by hydrological cycle. Hydrological cycle circulate the water from the resources. So this is nothing but the one of the important natural phenomenon. About 97% water from the earth's surface is present in ocean in the form of a salty water. About 97% water is present in ocean in the form of salty water. Now, the another fraction of water is in the solid form as a polar ice cap and snows. Another fraction of water is a solid water. We call it as ice, and they are present in the form of polar ice caps and snows. Actually, the surface water is the most important one, because we cannot utilize directly the solid water, that is ice from the polar ice cap and snows, as well as whatever the major fraction, that is the 97% water from the ocean or salty water. The readily available water for the consumption, means for our day-to-day working, is the surface water. And this surface water is present. This surface water is present in rivers, then lakes, streams, etc., etc. Now it was an account about the introduction as well as the resources of water. Now as far as our discussion, the quality and quantity of water is the most important one. It is a current issue, it is a current need to think about the quality and quantity of water. You just note all these data so that we will proceed towards our further discussion. Now, the criteria of a water quality. Criteria of a water quality. It is nothing but the qualitative analysis of water. We know the qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. Qualitative analysis means what? The method of analysis in which the components present in the material is detected. It is just a detection. It is just identification. We call it as a quality parameters. So in order to understand the various chemical phenomena that takes place in water bodies, we should go through the certain important criteria of quality of water. So the two important criteria are there. One is nothing but the pH and second is a PE. So the two important criteria of a purity of water, means the quality of water. Two important criteria. The first important criteria is the pH of water. pH of water. We know the very well about the pH, pOH, PE, PE0, etc. pH is nothing but the negative logarithm to the base 10 of H plus ion concentration. What is mean by pH? The negative logarithm to the base 10 of H plus ion concentration is known as a pH. Mathematically, we will write it in this way. pH is equal to negative logarithm to the base 10 of H plus ion concentration. Am I right? This H plus ion concentration is also known as activity of a hydrogen ion. It is also known as activity of hydrogen ion. So instead of that, we can write it in this way also. Negative logarithm to the base 10 of activity of H plus ion. Both have the same meaning. Concentration of H plus ion means activity of H plus ion. So this is an account about the definition of a pH. So the question arises in our mind, why we are thinking about the pH means the concentration of H plus ion in order to decide the quality of water. The very simple thing is that if water contains a organic matter, attention well, if the water contains a organic matter, the organic matter undergoes a decomposition, it undergoes a degradation, it undergoes a oxidation, or it can undergoes a reduction reaction. Am I right? Now, during the oxidation or during the reduction of organic matter, the H plus ion means the concentration of H plus ion will changes. And therefore, by measuring the change in H plus ion concentration, we can determine how much degradable organic matter was present in the water bodies. So we can determine the contamination of water by measuring the pH of the solution. And therefore, we considered the pH as an important criteria to decide the quality of water. The main contributor of the pH of a natural water are the carbonate ion and hydroxy ion. The main contributor of pH of a natural water are the CO3 2 minus, HCO3 minus, and OH minus. The pH of natural water is in the range of 6 to 9 pH. The pH of natural water is in the range of 6 to 9 pH. These components are responsible for the pH of natural water 6 to 9. How this component will contribute to decide the pH of the natural water? Very simple thing. When the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere interacts with the water, H2O, it gives the corresponding H2CO3. This H2CO3 upon ionization gives HCO3 minus plus H plus. This HCO3 minus again undergoes a further ionization and gives CO3 2 minus and H plus. So in this way, these ions means HCO3 minus, CO3 2 minus, CO3 2 minus and OH minus decides the pH of water. So it was an account about the pH of a natural water. Now the second major resource of water is the ocean water. The ocean water, has a remarkably constant pH. Remarkably constant pH 8.1 plus minus 0.2. So why the ocean water has a constant pH 8.1 plus minus 0.2? There are certain reasons, certain justifications, or you can say the possible explanations are The possible explanations are the first thing is the buffering action of carbonate system. Buffering action of carbonate system. We have already discussed about the buffering action of a carbonate system over here. It means that what happens here? The carbon dioxide reacts with water. It gives H2CO3. this H2CO3 ionizes and it gives HCO3 minus plus H plus. And third thing, this HCO3 minus again undergoes a further ionization. It gives a CO3 2 minus plus H plus. So this is an buffering action of a carbonate system. Second thing is the buffering action of a boric acid. Second reason behind the constant pH of a seawater is the buffering action of boric acid. Second is buffering action. Buffering action of boric acid. So what happened? Boric acid means BOH thrice. It is nothing but the BOH thrice. So what happened when the BOH thrice reacts with water? It gives a corresponding BOH4 minus plus H plus. In this way, it will do their corresponding buffering action. So it was the two possible explanation. The third important possible explanation means first, second. Right now I will write the third over here. Suppose the third one is the buffering action of ion exchange equilibria, or you can say the ion exchange equilibria. Ion exchange equilibria. In ion exchange equilibria, what happen? The silicates will interact and we will get the formation of corresponding salts with the release of H plus ion. And due to these buffering actions, the pH of ocean water remarkably becomes a constant around 8.1. So it was an account about the first important criteria of a water quality, that is the pH. Mind well about these buffering actions and the ranges of the pH. Natural water has a pH 6.96 to 9 pH, and the ocean water has a remarkably constant pH 8.1 plus minus 2. So you just note all this data. We will proceed to the second criteria of water quality. The second criteria of water quality is a PE. Second criteria is PE. PE is nothing but the negative logarithm to the base 10 of E minus ion concentration. The negative logarithm to the base 10 of concentration of electron is known as a PE. Mathematically, we can write it in this way. PE is equal to negative logarithm to the base 10 of concentration of electron. Again, as like a H plus ion concentration, E minus ion concentration is also known as the activity of electrons. So we can write the equation in this way. PE is equal to negative logarithm to the base 10 of activity of E minus. Both have a same meaning. Activity of E minus. So obviously, I have already told you that. Again, the question arises in our mind. Why we are measuring the activity of electrons means a negative ion. Simple thing. As like H plus ion, E minus ions means electron is also utilized during the oxidation and reduction of the organic matter. And therefore, by measuring the change in activities of electron, we can determine the quantity of the organic matter present in the given water bodies. And therefore, it is also one of the important criteria to decide the purity of water. Numerically, the PE and pH is given by another expression. Numerically, PE and PE0 is given by expressions. So what are the expression for that? PE is equal to E upon 2.303 RT upon F, and PE0 is equal to E0 upon 2.303 RT upon F again. Now what are the various terms? So E stands for, where E is equal to, this is the reduction potential. This is the reduction potential. Reduction potential. What is about the R? R is the gas constant. T is nothing but the absolute temperature, and F is the Faraday. In second equation, one more term is there, E0. E0 is nothing but the standard reduction potential. Standard reduction potential. Standard reduction potential means what? The potential under standard condition. And the standard condition means the 25 degrees Celsius temperature and 1 atmospheric pressure is the standard condition. I hope you people studied in physical chemistry about the standard condition. The standard condition of temperature is 25 degrees Celsius and the standard condition for the pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure. If you measure the reduction potential at 25 degrees Celsius, 1 atmospheric pressure and 1 molar concentration, then the potential is known as the standard reduction potential. So what are the condition for, what are the standard condition? What are the standard conditions? The standard condition are nothing but the 25 degrees Celsius temperature, 25 degrees Celsius temperature. Second thing, 1 atmospheric pressure, 1 atmospheric pressure and 1 molar concentration, and 1 molar concentration. This is the standard condition. Again, we know that R has a constant value, T has a value and F has a value, and therefore if you put the standard values of a molar gas constant, temperature and Faraday, and if you solve this equation, we will have E upon 0.591, and similarly in this case E0 upon 0.591. So by measuring the value of a PE, we can determine the organic matter present in the given water bodies. So the decomposition of organic matter can be analyzed by measuring the PE value. The decomposition of organic matter can be determined or analyzed by measuring PE value. So you just note all this data by screenshot. Okay, so student, in this lecture we studied the importance of the hydrosphere, means the introduction. The next, the various water resources, and also we studied the criteria of a purity of water. One is the pH and second is the PE. So in this lecture, we will stop here. In our next lecture, we will discuss about the microbially mediated various reactions. Thank you.